Okay. Just gonna take a second and set up here. All right. Cool, guys. I know nobody's probably tuned in yet. I'm just gonna wait a little bit till we get some viewers, and then we are going to be doing our LED grow light giveaway that we announced. I think it was last week, probably just about a week ago. This is for a 68-watt 3-head LED grow light. This is actually the light right here. Yeah. Um, and these lights are great. Like, I mean, so handy to have indoors. As you can tell, I've got one behind me. This one right here is another one of these tri-head grow lights. I think at this point I've got 4 of them. Um, and I use pretty much every single one of them. One of the biggest drawbacks that they've had in the past was the little clamp that they have on that grow light was not very strong, but they've since made some refinements, and this thing is like super strong now. So that light is not going anywhere. Um, so really happy that they made those changes. So we'll be giving away that grow light, and then afterwards, if you guys stick around, I'm gonna be answering any questions you guys have. Whether you have some questions on stuff you're starting in the garden for the springtime outdoors, questions about what I'm growing, what we plan on doing with a house and stuff like that, because we're trying to get our what we're calling our homestead property, a property with a couple of acres so we can farm on it and possibly get some animals, definitely chickens, maybe some goats and pigs if we're lucky. It depends on what that land is zoned as, and then the city requirements too. Some places just don't allow animals other than chickens, regardless of the property type. Other cities are a little bit more lenient. It kind of really depends on the council. But that's kind of stuff we're really gearing up towards, which is why we're in this new location. We've got stuff growing downstairs here and all throughout the throughout different areas where we just haven't been growing them before. So it's been a kind of a challenge doing that, especially since we've got all of our seed trays and stuff. If you look over here, we're starting our all of our vegetable seeds. Well, the ones that you do start indoors at least. Down here too, there's going to be a ton of vegetables. We are actually growing more vegetables this year than we have ever grown before, which I'm really excited for. And part of the reason is that one, we're gearing up towards moving into this homestead property and starting to do more and more self-reliant type gardening and sustainable gardening, where we're not just working with plants, but we're working with plants that are going to feed me and my family, which is really important to us, especially when stuff like this, the current events that are happening right now. I don't want to say the word on YouTube because they do all sorts of stuff, demonetization, and then they kind of regulate the reach that the video gets to. So, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The virus that's going on, um, stuff like that comes to light, and it shows us just how fragile our system can be, because it doesn't take a lot to put a shock into the supply chain. A lot of us might not be seeing effects of it right now, but come a couple of weeks from now, we're going to see this shock because one, now people are off of work, so they're not able to produce the goods while we have goods in circulation right now. A couple of weeks from now, those goods are going to be restricted. As we're seeing, Amazon even is not shipping out a lot of stuff because they're so busy and so focused on sending out other goods that are considered essential, that we're not able to get some other items on there. And we're seeing the same exact thing happening in with nurseries and plant shops all around. We have a lot of people that are just not able to provide people with the plants that they need because, one, there's a excess in demand for the supply because people are buying way more than they normally would because they're worried about the current situation that we're dealing with it, and nobody's really sure what exactly is going to go down, how long this is going to last, how many people this is going to affect. And so they're buying up plants in bulk right now, which is a good-ish sign because at least people are turning towards that sort of thing. They kind of realize what plants and vegetables, what they can bring uh, to people's lives. But it's also a bad thing because we probably don't need to be doing all that bulk buying, and we need to kind of think of this as a whole, like everybody in it together. If we all go and bulk buy, then we're going to run into this supply shock where places are running out of stuff. The second reason why places are running out of things besides the bulk buying is that they're simply, the stuff is not getting produced. So with people being off work, that's when we see things being not being produced, and therefore doesn't end up in the shelves in the shops. Either that or the shops themselves aren't getting any visitors at all right now, so they're just struggling overall. So I just, it's a really, really kind of a tough time right now. We see Nancy here. She ordered some seeds today and would love to win the light to help them grow. Good job on ordering seeds. I definitely, if you haven't checked out, I've got a couple of great videos that I just put out, complete guides on when you need to start all of your seeds, and then a separate video on how to germinate them indoors. And of course, we're going to be producing follow-up videos with the care that we'll be giving these seedlings as they grow, and then how to transplant them. And we're going to be doing all sorts of videos this year on vegetable gardening, like a strong emphasis on vegetable gardening, just because of everything we've been talking about. There's a lot of uncertainty in the air, and I want to be able to help educate those who are seeking answers in a time like this when they're just not sure of what's going to go down, and maybe they're turning towards gardening as one, a hobby to keep them busy if they might be self-isolating or something like that, and two, they might be looking towards gardening as an answer to the chaos that's going on right now because they realize how important it is. And so I want to be able to answer those questions and produce as much content as I can geared towards that stuff. And again, with us going to the homestead too and buying that property whenever we find it, at least. Um, I want to really start getting geared towards that, and I find it so rewarding to be able to grow your own food too. I've been doing it for many years, but this year we're going to have a ton of videos on it. So I think I rambled on enough. I'm gonna, let's get to that giveaway, and then I will answer any questions you guys have. So what I've done in the past and I'm going to do right now is I've just got this random comment picker right here. We've got the link pasted on here. It says we've got 62 unique comments, so you guys got a 1 in 62 chance of winning, which is pretty good odds in my book. Um, I usually do these giveaways when companies give me the lights to do an in-depth review to see if there's any improvements that have to be made on them. And I've got so many lights right now that I just like to give away everything extra that I have. So that's why I do these giveaways. I have them many times a year too. I'm looking into doing some more plant giveaways, but just not sure on what the best route would be to take on that. Like if I'm gonna do bare root cuttings of plants, or if I'm gonna do house plants or outdoor perennial stuff, or like willow tree cuttings. Just I'm really not sure how to go, but I'm trying to develop a plan. So definitely stay tuned for that stuff. We're gonna have more plant giveaways on this channel soon enough. So let's pick a winner here. We've got our random comment picker up. And Irma Drozek. My plans are to grow herbs, it must be herbs, along with lettuce and spinach. So the comment that I asked people to comment below on what they're growing outdoors. And I love what you guys are growing outdoors. There's so much good stuff. Maybe we'll go through some of those comments. But Irma, congratulations. You got a grow light. I will reply to your comment, and then I will see if I can go to your YouTube channel and find an email on there. I will email you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this, to my channel and entering in the giveaway. Again, if you guys haven't won a giveaway yet or haven't been in one for the drawing, stay tuned. Subscribe. You've got to hit that bell button so you're notified. Even if you don't, or if you're not interested in some of the videos that I make, there is a lot of other videos that I think you guys would be interested in, because whenever I'm doing anything in the garden, I make a video for you guys. So I do have a wide range of types of videos that I make. House plants, outdoor plants, vegetables, herbs, perennial flowers, all sorts of stuff. Like you name it, whatever we do in the garden, I make a video of. Sorry, I see that I'm just lagging a little bit here, so I want to check my connection. Yeah, let me see it. Let me check my Wi-Fi and just go off cell signal, and maybe that will out. I don't even know if I can do that while I'm live streaming. That's okay. I don't think you guys mind too much. That's one of the cons of live streaming, is you never know if you're gonna have body service or not. I've found that the internet service has been a little bit spotty lately. Anyways, I think it's because there's so many people home. They're just not able to support the bandwidth. I don't know if that's true or not, but all right. Let me go through your guys' comments right now the way it stands, and then see if any questions. Uh, if you guys have any questions, please comment it, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. I love just having conversation with these live streams, though. That's one of the biggest pros of a live stream is this is just me. Like I haven't edited the video. Granted, I try and edit my videos as little as possible, but this is me, and you guys kind of get an inside personal look at me, my emotions, what drives me, and my responses, which I think is important as a viewer to get. That is really great, because it kind of establishes a connection that you really couldn't get with a regular video. So thank you to everybody who is in right now. I really appreciate it, and just love having these conversations with you guys. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it. Let us know if you'll be selling seed packets. There's a shortage of seeds. My high schools also food giveaways of massive amounts of vegetables. Okay, cool. Please discuss drying spinach and other veggies without a dehydrator. I've actually never done that. Honestly, I could probably ask my grandmother and she would know because she's done that before, but I've never dehydrated anything without a dehydrator. I would think as long as I think the easiest way to do that would be obviously warmer temperatures and circulating air. So if you got some sort of a fan and if you can maybe conceptualize like a cookie tray, like a cookie cooling tray or something like that, and had airflow in with that. But I I don't know. I've never done that before. So if anybody else is in here that has dehydrated stuff without a dehydrator, please reply to duh reply to them and let them know how they can do that. You also said, let me know if you'll be selling seed packets because there's a shortage of seeds. I thought about that in the past because there is a lot of people who do that, and even MI Gardner is one of the greatest examples on YouTube who does sell seeds. But the problem that I've had with that so far is I just don't have the space to produce the amount of seeds to where it would be profitable in the least bit. So once we do get more property and more land and have large amounts of crops, we will be looking into starting seeds and selling seeds and finding out the best way to do that. That is in the books and it's in the workings, but right now on the scale that I'm growing at, it's just not large enough to grow seeds. I might sell seeds with things like these. Um, these are my Epiphyllum guatemalense monstros EP2, aka Curly Sue cactus. Um, I've grown these all from seed off of one fruit pod, and that's been a lot of fun. And so those are some seeds that I debated on selling right away, just on like Etsy or eBay or something like that. But I looked at the cost of the seeds were so minimal. It was like I could sell like 50 of them for a couple of bucks. And just the work that it would take for me to set up that one item just wasn't really worth it. So I thought it would be better to make a video for you guys to share with hundreds, possibly thousands of people in the future about how to grow those seeds at home. So that's why I kind of went that route with those plants even, but in the future I think we'll be selling seeds. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So for those guys who have been viewing for a long time, one, thank you for your support, and two, I ask for your future support whenever that does open up. Please keep us as an option for your seeds once we do get around to it. Again, it might be a year to at least. It might be even longer than that to the point where we're selling seeds, but it will happen. Trust me, it's going to happen eventually. Take a look at the comments again. I have a 13-foot avocado tree in Florida, bananas, oranges, and many more. Oh, while I'm not jealous that you live in Florida because I love Wisconsin too much to move away, I am super jealous of the plants that you guys are able to grow. Like maybe maybe when I'm older and I don't have kids around, granted I'll probably be a grandparent by that point. But maybe when I'm older I'll be able to move to a southern state because of that. Like I want to grow fruit trees so much. I think it would be so much fun. You get a lot of fruit from them too, and you could do so many things with the fruit too. Canning it up, and you can have that stuff last many years, having it in a jar in your basement. And to be able to have that experience has been something I've longed for, and I'm just not sure if I'll ever do it unless I have a big greenhouse. Hopefully, one day I do have a giant greenhouse. I mean, giant greenhouse that I can grow some fruit trees in and possibly work in like a permaculture food forest within one greenhouse here. That's a big, big dream of mine too. And I've seen a lot of really cool YouTube videos. Just search like permaculture food forest greenhouse, and you guys will be amazed at the things that people do with greenhouses, even in colder climates. You sink that greenhouse into the ground by like 5 or 6 feet, sometimes even more, and have that air circulating through, so it's using Earth's natural energy, like an ambient temperature, to bring the heat of the greenhouse up to the point where it stays like a constant 65 to 75 degrees year round, even if it's -10 degrees outside. It's some really incredible stuff that people can do. It's one of the great things that I love about YouTube is I'm able to go and find really, really cool videos like that to get some inspiration on gardening, because the imagination is key when it comes to gardening. I'll just say that. Like, anybody can garden by the books and do things the way that most people are taught. But when you find a character that goes out and takes gardening to the next level and does things like that in the greenhouse with permaculture and food forests, I think that's really, really incredible and so inspiring to me. And I hope that one day, as we're able to build this to the point that I want to, that we're able to be that inspiration to other people as well. It's one of the main reasons why I do this, is to inspire other people to garden, to work with plants, and to be creative with plants too. So I don't. I what am I trying to say? I don't do this for a career, for a job. I do this because I love doing this. I do this because it's a passion of mine. And I just really hope that I'm able to give you guys a little hint of that passion too. And I hope I've helped some of you guys learn and start growing and gardening from not knowing how to do anything to being able to plant your very first vegetable garden and growing and germinating your seeds inside. If you guys have some of those stories, I would love to hear them, because it helps me keep on going. Granted, that's not an issue because I have a passion for it, but I want to be able to know those stories and to hold those inside my heart, because they mean so much to me. And I just really hope you guys are getting value from the videos that I put out too. Getting a little bit heartfelt there. All right. Why is eye contact so intense or weird during intimacy? Oh my gosh, we got my first tip. $2? Thank you. That means that means so much. That's the first time anybody's ever tipped me. So thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go through these comments. That was benevolent 24. How kind of you. Thank you. That was a blessing. Okay. Somebody said Joel said there's no seed shortage in Illinois. Dollar Tree has plenty. There's also a lot of online sources that you can find seeds. Again, M.I. Gardner, I'm sure he's got plenty of seeds. He usually stocks up on a lot of them for you guys. It's possibly a video I can do in the future. Uh, I'll do that this week. I'll make a video this weekend for you guys on resources to get your seeds, just in case something were to happen where we do have shortages and you're not able to get them in the store. Then I will put together a video of online resources for you guys to get some seeds. I'll do that this weekend. Pull the trigger on Saturday. That'll be Saturday's video for you guys. um, and let's see. Wendy Loom had answered the question about the dehydrating. You can use the oven or a veggie spinner. Use the oven on lowest heat. Let's see. We'll keep you in mind for future seeds. Lived in Colorado for 10 years. They had cherry, pears, blackberries, grapes, and Russian olives. Benevolent 24. Advice on passing gas in front of girlfriend for first time. How long have you been dating? I don't want to get off topic too much. But man, I think we've all read the book about pooping. We all poop, right? I'm pretty sure that we all fart too. Pretty sure we all fart. So why should there be a problem? 1 month. Ooh, 1 month. Now there's the real question. Is 1 month too short of a time to do that? Who? I can't say I have within 1 month, but I would say maybe 4 months was probably with my wife, of course. I think I probably farted in front of her even before that. It might have been just a couple of months, but we spent like literally every single day together since we met for almost a year. Every single day. So that might be a different case for you. I don't know, but there's your answer. Let her rip. She'll get used to it. Definitely. Back to Bryce Drexler. Bryce said he had grown cherries, apples, pears, blackberries, grapes, and Russian olives. That's really cool. That's so great that you're growing all of those food crops. The more food crops you can grow, especially with stuff like that, they're all perennial stuff. I Russian olives. I don't have any experience with growing Russian olives or cherries, but I do everything else, and they're so great to grow. It's awesome that you can grow it. It produces year after year. Granted, it takes a while to start. You can't just plant a tree and expect it to bear fruit for you the year after that. We have to work hard and we have to sow into the ground. That as we reap what we sow, I guess is what the saying goes. So it takes work to produce these things, but with stuff like perennial fruits and perennial vegetables, they're a thing. Um, it takes a lot of work, but they'll produce for you year after year after year, which is why they're so great to have. I strongly encourage starting some sort of a food forest or um, anything you can do to get some perennial fruit on your property. Apples, pears, grapes, oranges if you're in Florida, all that stuff. Blackberries, blueberries. Grow as much food as you can that's going to produce for you year after year. Best pesticides. Ooh, anybody got an answer for that? I don't use any pesticides. I use neem oil when needed, but in any of my gardens outdoors, I just don't spray them at all. Again, if I have any issues, all I will use is neem oil, but pesticides I do not touch. It's just a personal philosophy, whether it has any physical effects on your body. They haven't really been able to say whether it does or not. So I think the information and studies on that just the answer isn't really out there, and it isn't going to be out there because there's so many outside factors that affect our health. Um, yes, food that we put into our body is very important. It's great that you should be able to know the source of as much food as you can. You should be able to support local farmers. You should be supporting them as much as you can and knowing what they put on their foods and around their foods. But the studies are really unconclusive when it comes to the health effects of that stuff. So, like I said, it's just more of a philosophy that I try not to use any sort of pesticides. I've been really lucky to the point where I haven't had to. The only things that we get a lot of as far as bugs and beetles in this case are the Japanese beetles, which are kind of tough. I've the best thing to do for them with Japanese beetles, in case any of you guys have had some problems with Japanese beetles, is just to pick them off, throw them in a bucket, and let them die in that bucket, like in your garage or something. You don't want to squish them, and you definitely don't want to be using one of those beetle traps. They sell, yeah, soapy water. Soapy water works great. My mother in law uses soapy water for Japanese beetles. Um, but do not, I repeat, do not use Japanese beetle traps. Those traps attract the Japanese beetles. So now, instead of just having the beetles that might have been in your yard that just happen to fly over there and start munching on your plants, now you have all of the Japanese beetles that were from here to Kingdom Come all landing in your yard because of that trap that is attracting them to your yard. Avoid those traps like the plague. It might seem like a simple solution, but it's going to create nothing but a problem for you and your garden. It will look like you're killing a lot of them, but it's not actually doing any good. I hate to break it to you guys. If you have used them before, don't use them. Don't use them. Back home, I am not answering that question, buddy. Try some duct tape. Duct tape will do the job, right? Oh, that's funny. Okay. Oh yeah, rhubarb is a perennial. So are strawberries. Yeah, there's so many perennial vegetables out there. I want to compile a great list of them and start seeing which ones I can grow in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, a lot of them are really like their hardiness stops at like zone 8. We're not quite there. Even if I cover my stuff like a zone 8 plant, like most perennial vegetables are, some are down. I mean, there's a list of maybe a dozen of them that I could grow here. So I'm looking into that. If you guys haven't, do a quick Google, search for perennial vegetables and find which ones you guys can grow in your area, because again, it's going to produce for you year after year. I was hoping for homemade organic pesticide ideas. Yep, diatomaceous earth does great. I think that's mostly for stuff that's like in your soil. I haven't really used it a whole lot. My plants are my best medicine during this lockdown period, says Angela. Absolutely. Thank the Lord for these plants. You it's a good thing that this is in the springtime too, because spring is full of preparation, planning, maintenance. You're getting ready and gearing up for the gardening year ahead. And honestly, if you're not doing that planning in the springtime, then you're going to miss out on some key steps that you should have taken to make sure that your plants are as healthy as possible. Specifically, talking about outdoor plants. If you don't do your pruning and deadheading, and if you don't cut down your plants in the winter, then you probably have a lot of work to do this spring, and you have all of your perennial stuff that needs to be cut down and pruned. You have your fruit trees. um, then you also have your vegetable gardens that need to be planned out too. If you don't have a solid plan for your gardens, definitely do that, because the placement of your plants is very crucial and will really help out if you plan that out based off of where they are in the garden. What's that?
Pizza.
Yes, I would love pizza. My wife asking if I would want pizza. Uh, I don't know why she even had to ask that. Of course I want pizza. uh, Greetings from Germany. Hello. Hello, I should say. We've got some people from the Philippines, several people from Germany. Going through the comments here again, we got some people that bought some thornless blackberries. Awesome, good job on the blackberries. Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. Gotta have those berries in the gardens. We don't have, well, nope, we do have a couple of blackberry plants. Not very many. We're kind of building a bramble right now. We've got mostly raspberries. So in a previous video, I did my cuttings of them and got them all prepped as part of our, again, spring maintenance, which is so important right now. I kind of got off topic. We were talking about how plants were such a blessing in time like this. I talked about all the outdoor stuff. And then all the indoor stuff too is so great to have. And personally, plants do bring a great sense of peace and just a way to relax and grow and learn. I think you don't only learn about the plants when you garden, but you also learn about yourself and about who you are, because you're able to take some time and slow down and reflect on maybe the things that your day or have done yesterday or might do tomorrow. Where most people, especially in America, people are rushing everywhere. They're rushing to do everything and don't take a single second to even reflect on the actions that they're taking in their life. And gardening, gardening is a great way to do that. Gardening is such a blessing in the fact that it lets us reflect. It brings peace to our lives. And times like this, it brings our mind to a spot that it can really be open, stress free, and it can slow down compared to the daily grind where it's just rushing and rushing. I know it's very easy to get caught up into things, into technology, into work, into our jobs. Very easy to get caught up in the daily grind. I am definitely guilty of it. Definitely guilty of it. But gardening is something that brings me to peace and lets me slow down. And I hope you guys get that out of gardening and plants as well. I know I sure do. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people to gardening, is that sense of peace and maybe even sustainability or freedom or independence that it brings, because we know that not only are we able to grow these beautiful plants for indoors and inside of our homes, but we're able to produce these seeds over here, and we're able to germinate them and grow them into food crops that will sustain me and my family. It does take a lot of time and a lot of work. Some people kind of joke at the fact that, hey, I'm going to put in all these hours of time to produce a couple of pounds of vegetables. Why? Why would you do that? Well, it's not just about the money. You do save money. You can definitely save a lot of money by growing these seeds indoors and germinating them and then transplanting them outdoors. It cost me $250. I could grow maybe 4 or 5 dozen plants, which is gonna, if I grew all of those plants for one packet of seed, can grow many pounds of food for 250 instead of 250 per pound of food, depending on where you are. It can save a lot of money, but it's not just about that. It's about what we learn in the process of growing these plants and growing these vegetables. There's so much more to it than what meets the eye, which is why I hope that we're able to inspire some people. And I think everybody who's watching this, if you could really do your part too to try and bring up a conversation about gardening, about plants, share some stuff on Facebook that you see, share that passion with the world, because I I don't know if it's just me or not, but I'm starting to slowly see more and more people turn to gardening. While it just might be my age group is getting older and has the tendency to lean towards gardening more, but it might also slowly be a psychological a change in the world. And I really hope it is the latter. I hope it is a change in the world that's happening, because people are starting to see how much benefit there can be from gardening. And another misconception about gardening is not that you need a ton of land to do it. Right now we've got, like, I think it's point 0.3 acres or point 0.2 acres, if that. Very, very small lot. But you can grow a lot of plants outdoors just with that. And then you can also grow all the indoor plants too. And if you look up on YouTube, you search quarter acre vegetable farm. You find a lot of resources and a lot of families that are basically sustaining themselves off of a farm that is a quarter acre in size, because they planted those vegetable crops correctly. Again, they use permaculture techniques and food forest techniques to where the plants were working together. You know, you've got one plant fixing nitrogen and the other plant eating up that nitrogen, and they're working together as a, that's so important when growing food in a small space. And believe me, guys, it can be done. You can do so much with a quarter acre. So it doesn't take a lot to grow a plentiful amounts of food for you and your family, even your friends and loved ones. Please share the love and share your veggies, especially the squash. You can share pounds and pounds and pounds of squash and zucchini every year, because just one single plant produces so much vegetable meat. I call it vegetable meat. You know, it's the meat of the plant, is that vegetable that it produces for us. Zucchinis produce a ton of it. Let's go through some stuff real quick here, see if we've got any more comments. We do, of course, but see if there's anything I want to highlight. Blueberry plants were delivered today, Joelle. Awesome. Congratulations. I'm excited for you. You've been following the channel, I think, like, since we started pretty much. So thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you in here in the chat. It's always a blessing having you comment and seeing what you're up to as well. I'd like to one day see you maybe start your own YouTube channel or make some videos online for us. I think you have a passion for it. So it'd be cool to see. Um, you just have to wait. Joelle was talking about her blueberry plants, saying she just has to wait for them to whisper to me where they want to be planted in my yards. Yeah, yeah. Blueberries do like it slightly acidic. Um, Granted, like sometimes you just won't have the option. There's some things you can amend into the soil to bring it to a slightly more acidic level for your blueberry plants. So maybe just get a tester, do a soil test, and see what you're at, and see maybe if you do need to amend something into that soil, and make sure that soil is not way too wet or way too dry. But Joelle, you are an avid gardener, so I'm sure you know where those blueberries would like to be placed. You just gotta wait for them to whisper to you. Black peppercorn seeds. Oh, cool. Peppercorn. That's an interesting one. Has anyone grown moringa? I want to grow moringa in my greenhouse that is outdoors. Um, I have not grown it yet, but I am well aware of the amazing benefits that it has. If you guys don't know what moringa is, or have not grown it, have not heard of it, have never consumed it, the entire plant is pretty much edible and is considered a superfood. Very, very dense in so many key vitamins and nutrients that if you live in a place where you can grow moringa, I believe it's, I think it's maybe a zone 7 or probably, I think it's a zone 7. Uh, Let me look it up really quick because I think this is really important that we talk about this. Oh, zone 9, Moringa oleifera is hardy up to zone 9. If you do have a larger greenhouse or hoop house or something like that and are in a zone below 9 and below, try and grow it. But anybody who's in zone 9 and above, save it on your Safari or your internet browser, or write it down right now. Make a note in your phone about moringa because you guys got to grow this plant. It is absolutely incredible. Do some research on it. It's a superfood. It's incredible. Such a blessing that it is on this planet to have. I really hope we can grow it in our greenhouse, but I don't think we'll be able to because it just got too cold in there this winter to have stuff like that. I think we could probably push like zone 7, possibly zone 8 stuff in there, but as far as zone 9, I don't think I'll be able to make it until I get a larger greenhouse where we can keep up some heat. But with this cheap little one that we've got, it doesn't hold enough heat unless I were to get maybe a small heater, or if I were to seal it up in there. There's also, they call them earth batteries. So you take large containers of water or a lot of stone and put that inside of your greenhouse. That way it collects energy and heat through the sun during the daytime hours, and then when the temperatures drop off during nighttime, that heat is very slowly released out of that material, whether it be the rocks. Hey buddy, gotta wait, dude. Whether it be rocks or the water containers and anything. Hey, dude, what are you doing? We're making a video. Little guy. Hi. Hi, Sterling.
What is this thing?
Buddy, can you go upstairs? Gotta make a video.
Oh.
As I was saying, there's these earth batteries, they call them, that you can use to store up energy during the night, and it releases it, or store up energy during the day, and it releases it at night, which is a really, really cool concept. I don't know if it's that applicable to a smaller greenhouse like the one we have now, but in the future, it's definitely something that's going to be implemented in our greenhouses. That, and then I also want to bury our greenhouses in the ground so we can use the earth's energy that way too. Um, and then maybe I'd be able to grow my moringas. Going through, let's see, do mosquito bits help? Do mosquito bits help with fungus gnats? I don't know about that. Mosquito. Sorry about that. A couple of minor interruptions. That's a live stream for you guys. There. You don't want to stuff there. Down there. Yeah, we're down in the basement. Oh well. It's our current situation. For those of you who don't know, we're trying to. We're selling our condo. We're in a temporary location with living with family members until we buy our land that have some more, or a property that has some land so we can actually do some real farming on it. Looking forward to it, but the situation right now is just kind of meh, you know. As we all know, I'm sure a lot of us have been through those transitionary phases. So going through the comments here, I think that's probably just going to be about it for today. We're running up on 51 minutes. And if anybody has any last comments or questions, please drop them down below and I'll get to them. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes. We'll go through those questions that you might have and talk about them. And then we'll check out. So give about 5 minutes or so, and then we will head out of here for the day. I hope you guys are all doing well, despite whatever might be happening wherever you live. If you're under a full quarantine or not, I just hope that you guys are all being safe out there, that you're all able to use this time in a positive way, that you're growing your plants and tending to your plants, maybe expanding your gardens more than you would have if we weren't in this situation. Because it's all about taking the current situation and making something good out of it. So I think gardeners, I want you guys to take the lead in that by supporting local plant shops and nurseries as much as you can during this time, instead of just going to the big box store and buying your stuff as you normally would. Try and contact a local grower or local nursery and pick up your stuff from them. Even if they might be closed, you can probably give them a call and see if they might either ship some stuff to you, or they might just let you guys in briefly to pick up what you guys need and then head out of there. When you are doing so, I do have to say, please be safe out there, because this virus that's going on, again, the name shall not be named because of the YouTube overlords. This virus that's going on is very serious. It does do a lot of damage to the body. They're finding that even out of those who have recovered from it, had a full recovery, have a very significant reduction in their lung capacity, upwards of 20 to 30%. So you could be living that for the rest of your life from this. You do make it out okay and you recover from this, your lungs could be scarred and damaged for the rest of your life. So you might be young, you might be healthy, but other people that you come in contact might not be so young, healthy. So it's up to us to make sure that we do our best to reduce the spread, no matter how serious this is. It's already killed, must probably 25,000 people right now at this point. It could kill a lot more, multiple times more, or it could maybe kill just a few thousand more people, 50,000 more people, say. We could nip it in the butt but it's really all up to us to do that. So while you guys are out buying your plants and stuff, if you choose to do so, if your local companies do not ship to you, please be safe. Please try and stop the spread of this thing because it can get very scary. We've got one more question here. What's the best brand OG grow lights? Where to buy? The best brands, I'll tell you, I have experiences. Nobody around me locally sells grow lights, so I've used my favorite ones are Nilo, Mars Hydro, and High Grow. Those are my top three for sure. And I've had wonderful results with them. Great build quality too. So check out those three: Nilo, Mars Hydro, and High Grow are great companies. You can just look them up online. If you do have a supply shop near you, try and go over there first and see if they have anything that would fit your needs. But the couple that have been around me have been, one, very far away, and the grow lights that they're selling there have been ridiculously overpriced too. To like, they're almost double the cost as if I were to just Google it online and buy it myself. And these shops a lot of the time are only selling, they're selling tomato supplies, aka indoor cannabis grow stuff. So like, I don't know how much I want to support them anyways if they're not actual gardeners and they're only selling stuff to grow in that category, even though a lot of the times they're kind of under the radar grows. I don't have anything wrong with it, absolutely not. I totally support it, but I would rather support a local gardening company if at all possible, or I will just take my business online too. So check out those three companies. Hopefully that helps you out. Any recommendations for trees to root from cuttings? Need something to do around the yard? Well, if you've got any willow trees, those are extremely easy to do. If you've got any apple trees, you can actually do that too. Apple trees are very easy to do. I've done elderberries are awesome. I don't know if you've got any of those, but if you know somebody that does, now's the time to go and get elderberry cuttings too. If there is a channel right here, I will look it up for you. Who asked this question? Forbidden Jarl 14. I think it's Mike's Backyard Nursery. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Yeah. Forbidden Jarl. Go on YouTube and search Mike's Backyard Nursery. He will have a whole assortment of videos on stuff that you can root with cuttings and how to root them in cuttings. He does pretty much everything, like all sorts of hardwood cuttings. I think he even does like maple and stuff. He shows you how to do those cuttings, when to do them, the best kind of plants to do. He even does like arborvitae cuttings and stuff like that. He'll take a ton of those cuttings and grow them and propagate them, which is really cool. Again, it gives us something to do. So that's another great thing we could be doing out in the gardens right now. Somebody do a video about the grow lights, please. Yes, definitely. I got a ton of videos. I've always got videos out about the grow lights. But if you go on my channel and look up playlist and then go under LED grow lights, I've got a whole playlist on all the videos that I've put together, using the reviews and stuff like that, and even some videos on the results I've had on my plants with the grow lights. But all that stuff is on a playlist on my channel for you guys to check out if you're specifically looking for LED grow lights. I've got all sorts of playlists on there as well while you're searching. I got stuff on succulent propagation, indoor plants, our vegetable gardening, outdoor perennials. I think I've even got like stuff of cuttings. All sorts of playlists put together for you guys. With that being said, you should also check out some of our older videos. We've got a huge catalog of nearly 250 videos now, ranging through almost every category when it comes to gardening for you guys to check out. So please go and check out some of the older videos. Thank you all so much for the support. I was so excited to get some of my first tips on here during a live stream. We've got a lot of people watching too. 13 people, 16 people, to me is a lot. And I'm more than happy to talk to you guys and grow together and learn together through conversations like this. So it was good to see a lot of positive feedback and a lot of great conversation. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. I hope you're having a great and wonderful gardening adventure. I hope your springs are full of gardening stuff, as I'm sure they are, because a lot of us are stuck here in our homes. And that's the only thing we know to do is garden when we're stuck at home. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. We've got one coming out tomorrow on how to prune perennial herbs, specifically our Russian sage, our white sage, and then we also pruned our lavender plant in that video. And that's going to be coming out tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. Take care. Happy gardening. I can't reach the camera yet. It's funny. While I've got this off the stand, I guess I might as well show you some of the plants that I'm growing indoors here before I check out officially. We've got a monstera here. That's some damage. I'm gonna cut that off once this starts to wither away. If it does, right now it kind of did a good job at healing up there. We've got Christmas cactus, a Hoya, some type of barrel cactus, our curly Sue cactus, these African mask, cool plant. I love that one. We all know what this is, a ZZ plant. Oh, let me mute my computer. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. It was echoing back and forth. Our ZZ plant, and then we've got a few ZZ plant babies growing, another Hoya. This one I love. It's the Echevera chihuahuensis. Some gorgeous colors on that one. Our Pulia peperomioid that's not doing too hot. And then our rattlesnake plant, which honestly I think I fried because I forgot to water it for a long time. And it's not doing too good. What zone am I in? Old Glory Farm. I think you just tuned in. We're about to check out, but I am in, I think it's a 5B. So we are in southeastern Wisconsin. So those are all these plants in here before I check out. And then if you guys saw our video on seed germinating, we've got all sorts of stuff germinating down here. Tammy's Jungle. Oh, you just tuned in. We're just about to check out. I was going to check out, but then I couldn't hit the X button on my phone. So while I picked up my phone, I couldn't help but ignore these plants, and I wanted to show you guys though. But Tammy's Jungle, thank you so much for tuning in. Check out the rest of this video on replay. We've got a ton of great content on here. A lot of cool questions answered as well. But as I was saying, we've got all these seeds germinating. These are just the seeds that should be germinated 4 to 5 weeks out. I've got a video on when to germinate and then another video on how to germinate. And these are the ones that we've got growing right now. Rosemary, basil, dinosaur kale, red Russian kale, kohlrabi, a whole bunch of broccoli, a whole bunch of lettuce blend, a lot of onion. Then we got beefsteak tomato, Roma tomato, Cherokee purple tomato, and early girl tomato. And we've got a ton of other vegetables that are either getting sown directly into the garden or will be germinated in about another week, because 4 to 5 weeks before our frost date is going to be too early for those varieties, so we'll be germinating those next week. But like I said, we've got more vegetable crops than we've ever had in the garden before, and I'm so excited for this year's growing season. With that, I think now we will officially check out for the day. Congratulations again to the winner. Hope you guys are all having a great gardening adventure. Take care.